Welcome to Hobby Clubhouse with a review of the Bandai high-grade Cosmic Era 1144 Dagger L. Another addition to Bandai's curious but very welcome push to release non-universal century grunt suits in the HG line. So far, we've gotten the Leo, the Maganak, the Death Army, and the Daughters, though it was a P Bandai release for some reason, and then, most recently, the Windam. And no doubt many fans of mass production suits are really happy to see the Dagger L, and maybe that's why you're here. So getting right down to business, the Dagger L was released on April 10th, 2021 for a price of 1,320 yen. The box is illustrated by Naochika Morishita, and I think this choice is anything but random because Mr. Morishita drew nearly all of the Seed and Seed Destiny boxes, so I'd like to think this was a conscious decision to bring in someone with a close relation to the series. The box measures 30 by 19 by 5.5 centimeters, so it's a little thinner than a common box, just like the Leo and the Maganaxes are. And let's take a quick second look at the front right here, where we see one of the Dagger L's here with a Doppelhorn Striker pack, and sure enough, Bandai has announced an expansion pack for the Windam and the Dagger L, which includes that, so if you're a fan of it, this is one more reason to get this kit. The sides of the box includes the usual studio shots of all the weapons and a nice articulation, and it reminds us that this is in fact compatible with the other striker packs in the HG line, and we're going to look at that a little bit later. The other side has a bit of in-universe info on the Dagger L to round things off. Inside the box, we get the Dagger L spread across 7 runners, with one of them for the polycaps, and then one of them for the beam effect parts. Worth noting here is that the gray runner here is actually reused from the Build Strike Gundam, which was later also used for the revised Ale Strike Gundam. And this kit actually comes with no stickers, so it's straight to the instructions here with a whole lot of background information on this page right here, and then a coloring guide at the very bottom. The inner color pages are also used for assembly instructions, so maybe there isn't a ton to say about the humble Dagger L. The black and white side is all for assembly instructions, as you'd expect. And after an hour and a half of assembly, we get the completed Dagger L here, lean and handsome. Remember that this kit has absolutely no stickers, so it comes right out of the box looking like this and basically completely color accurate, so kudos to that. The nice coloring includes the insides of these vents on the chest here, where the insides are in fact gray plastic, which is really above and beyond for this price. And get this, there is the darker gray for the frame details, and then there is this lighter gray for the parts like the Vulcan pods on the side of the head and the collar armor and the top of the waist. I mean, what can I say? It's hard to find fault in a kit that does so much while costing so little. But also worth a look is how tall it is. So here let's bring in the HG 105 dagger, and that's no small difference here. The 105 dagger is 12.5 centimeters tall, which makes it exactly 1/144 scale on the dot. The Dagger L is 13.2 centimeters tall, and even taking into account the in-universe height of 0.4 meters taller than the 105 dagger, that still comes to a strange 1:139 scale, give or take. Now, this isn't anything new, and Bandai has been taking liberties with the scale accuracy since around 2014 or so. It doesn't ruin the look completely, but it will look a little bit off if you put it right next to any other of the Dagger family members that you might have, like me right here. And while we're at it, let's compare them. The feet are very slim compared to the old ones, and the lower legs have been lengthened while the thighs shortened. The forearms are also slimmer, and from the side, the contrast between the outer armor and the inner core of the arms stand out way more. Now surprisingly, they didn't shrink down the head, maybe because the 105 dagger's head was already quite small. On the back here, we can recognize all the same details between the two kits, but everything is better spaced out and the details have more room to stand apart from one another. Now, I don't think it's a controversial thing to say the Dagger L's new proportions are very attractive, and if you're not choosing for the specific character, then the new kit is cheaper and prettier. As a side note, the 105 dagger's head can be swapped with the Dagger L's, though nothing else is compatible unfortunately. And here is the entire lineup of the Dagger series mobile suit that you can buy now. But the problem is, here we have 3 different releases of 3 different MSs. Yes, they're similar, but they're just different enough that they're not one single thing, and that's annoying. And also check out how much bigger the Dagger L's shield is. It's close to double the surface area of the other older shields, and that really makes the old ones look obsolete. And that's a nice segue to have a closer look at the shield. It is fully color separated, and the red diamond in the middle is red plastic. The backside is sadly all white with some little bits of the blue piece poking through, which I don't think look that nice. There are some panel details here, although there are also some ugly hollow spaces on the side and the rim. The shield attaches to this adapter with the 2 balls that go onto the shield's socket. The adapter then goes into the arm in a slightly odd way where you slip it onto the blue outer armor of the forearm, where it'll surprisingly sit really snugly. Here you can adjust the angle of your shield to your liking. Overall, this is a beautiful shield and it is an important part of this kit. And next we have the beam carbine, which, come on, that's not a carbine. At best it's a submachine gun, but it's more like a pistol. Naming aside, the gun does get some extra love with the white hood on the scope, and for a low-cost kit like this they really didn't have to do this, but they did. And since the Dagger L doesn't come with a ton of other weapons, it is wonderful that the gun that we do have looks so nice. Now, we don't get a trigger finger hand, so we have to use the default fist to hold the gun, but it works fine. And lastly for the weapons, we have the beam sabers, with the 2 handles stored on the 2 sides of the waist. You can pull any one of these off, and you can fit any standard HG beam effect parts onto it. The kit itself does come with 2 of these effect parts, so you won't have to donate any from any other kit. The sword handle is a little bit loose in the hand, and even though they won't rattle around, they will fall off from gravity alone, which is a little bit unfortunate. One detail I really want to show you is what's behind the clear blue visor on the eyes. Inside, we get this very detailed mechanical part done all in gray, and this isn't something you can see all that easily, but it's really beautiful once you notice that it's there. And you know what else? If we look at the clear blue piece a little bit closer, it actually extends to the back of the head, so that very small window for the camera on the back of the head, it's clear blue plastic. Okay, so let's talk striker packs. The Dagger L of course has a slot on the back that accepts striker packs released in the HG line, and let's test it with all the ones here. We have the original HG Ale striker pack, and then the Ale striker pack from the later HGCE updated release, and then the HG gun barrel. Also, we'll test it with these weapons on the weapon mount that comes with the Perfect Strike Gundam. First, let's get the simplest one out of the way, the gun barrel striker. This is taken from the 105 Dagger kit, and it connects without any fuss and it works fine. The hole is reinforced by a polycap piece so the pack won't fall out by itself or sway side to side or anything. And next up, we have the Ale Striker from the original HG release of the Ale Strike Gundam. And already we've run into a problem. This older strike pack doesn't have enough clearance for the 2 Vulcan pods on the head, so it'll push the head into this downward position. So if this is what you have, it's not going to work with the Dagger L. However, if we change it into the version for the Perfect Strike by swapping out the center white piece for this one that can hold weapons rack, the entire striker pack sits further from the back and the problem is solved. So let's look at the newer Ale Striker that comes with the newer Ale Strike Gundam from 2014. And disappointingly, the vents on the side still run up against the side of the head, but perhaps this is at a level you might find acceptable. The head won't be able to move anymore, but I guess it looks okay from some angles. This Ale Striker actually works with the old parts too, so if you pull off the white part in the middle, and then we put in the Perfect Strike piece, we have the same effect. So, this puts the pack further back, and the head no longer hits those vents on the side, and once again, the problem is solved. So overall, sadly, using striker packs isn't nearly as straightforward as it should be. Given my experience here, I wouldn't be confident in saying just any pack is going to work with the Dagger L, so if you have a specific combination in mind, you're going to have to take a risk and test out if it's going to work or not. Onto the articulation. Starting from the top, the head looks up quite a bit, and looks down a good bit as well. Nothing gets in the way of it turning a full circle. The shoulders swing outwards a little bit, but it's limited by the blocky shoulders. The arms can be angled along its ball joint. The arm swings out a little over 90 degrees. The entire assembly swings a full circle with nothing getting in the way. The biceps allow a full rotation. And the double jointed elbow can fold until it hits the shoulder armor. The hands can be adjusted on their ball joint, and they rotate all the way around. The waist dips forward a little bit, and then also a little bit towards the back. The torso can do a full rotation as long as you lift it up a little bit to get some clearance over the front crotch piece. The front skirts flip up all the way. The side skirts go up this much, and the back skirt doesn't move. The legs kick up to just over 90 degrees, and just a tiny little bit going back. They can swing outwards this much, limited by the side skirt. And then the entire leg can rotate on a single axis at the thigh. The double jointed knee gives us something like a 170 degree bend, limited by the leg shape. And the feet can move upwards with the help of the double joint like this, and backwards like this. And it goes side to side this much. Really, the Dagger L is a simple mobile suit that lets the articulation shine with its modern joints. There's nothing to get in the way, nothing that's gonna jam or fall off or limit its movement. It's gonna do every extreme pose that you want with ease, and it's gonna stay together solid like a rock. So if you're gonna pick this up and play with it, go right on ahead, it's ready for action. And here's something new that we're gonna be doing with reviews going forward: size comparisons. First, here's the Dagger L next to our first benchmark, the entry-grade RX-78. And then next comes the always bulky Zaku. No, I'm just kidding, I can't steal Kakuro's thing like that. Our second benchmark is the new Gundam, so overall the Dagger L sits pretty slapdash in the middle. With all that said, here's a Hobby Clubhouse 3-point verdict on the Bandai high-grade Cosmic Era 1144 Dagger L. Number 1. It's a solid kit at a solid price. It's simply hard to beat this kit at just 1,320 yen, and that's not even taking into consideration any discounts that you may happen upon. What you get is a no-nonsense kit that renders all its colors in plastic, and you can be as rough with it as you like. Now, it's not as good as an entry-grade RX-78 because that's just 500 yen and it's still easier to put together than this. I mean, this kit isn't complicated, but the assembly and some of the gate placements on it can be challenging to someone who is entirely new to the hobby. So this is a good deal specifically for fans with a bit of experience under their belts. Number 2, it's compatible-ish with the striker packs. You'd think the striker packs would just work with the hole on the back, but as we've tested here, it's not entirely so. Now, I don't think any of the other packs will have issues, but because I don't have them, I can't hazard and tell you that for sure. And that's the problem. If you want this to go with a striker pack, it may or it may not work, and I wish it was as simple as Bandai seems to want us to think, but it seems not to be the case. Number 3, it's a grunt mobile suit. For many fans, that's all we need for a purchase decision. If you like grunt suits, then this is an excellent choice without question. If you don't know what's the big deal about cannon fodder weaklings, get a Dagger L and maybe you'll understand the charm of something so simplified and so minimal. It's always great when grunt suits get some love, and especially great when they're as well made as this kit right here, so this gets a strong recommendation from me. So that's a review of the HG Dagger L. Not everything in life needs to be over technology, super powered ace units, and we need some balance in life too with something like this that's down to earth and won't cost you an arm and a leg. Thank you so much for watching. Come check us out on social media with updates on upcoming videos and sneak peeks at future projects. Links are in the description below. Or hang out here some more with one of these other videos. But before you go, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon to be notified of new videos from Hobby Clubhouse, and I'll see you next time.